My favorite subject at school has always been history. Something about learning all the things that led us to the present has always amazed me. It's kind of like gossip, but from the past. And one thing about gossip is that you can never trust it. It always gets twisted and changed while spreading. And who are we to say that history hasn't been twisted and changed? My name is Deeba Ahmed. I am a student of Year 9C, and today I'm going to talk about how history is told from a biased perspective. But first, why do we need to know history? According to Google, it's important to know history because it tells us how we got where we are, why we live the way we do. It's the study of us, of humans, and our place in an ever-changing world. Without it, we wouldn't understand all of our triumphs and failures, and we would continually repeat patterns without moving forward to something better. History is often influenced by racial motives, limited perspectives, political motivations, or the passage of time leading to distorted memories. One example of this is how history is often influenced by the opinions and interpretations of the person documenting and narrating events. Historical narratives can also be changed by the personal prejudices, cultural background, or point of view of the person documenting events. For instance, the effects and legacies of colonization may differ in former colonies versus former colonizing countries. Similar to this, conflict narratives frequently differ depending on the source. Take the discovery of America, for example. While indigenous people may highlight the devastating impact on their native population and culture, European colonizers frequently present their actions as heroic adventures. The way that World War II is interpreted is another example. Depending on the country of origin, focus on different aspects of the war may result from how events are documented. For example, Japan and USA might have opposing opinions on the Pacific War. Another thing I would like to highlight is how the wrong people get praised because of this. For example, Joseph Stalin, who despite his human rights abuses in World War II, was praised for defeating Germany. Another major example is Christopher Columbus, who, despite his exploitation of the indigenous people, is often praised for discovering America. I've talked about wrong history and biased history, and you might be thinking, how does this affect us? Well, history is often taught to students, those of a young age, and they can get a different mindset or a perception of other people, which can lead to them having certain stereotypes, which is obviously not a healthy mindset, especially for those at a young age, which is when they're influenced the most. In Western countries, critical analysis is the main focus, and students are encouraged to ask questions about historical narratives, whereas in Asian countries, national pride and a cohesive narrative may be their focus. Textbooks are also a significant resource because depending on the country of origin, it can change how we learn history. Teaching methods also vary. While some educational systems might focus on critical analysis and historical source analysis, other educational systems might focus on learning dates and events by heart. Oh yeah, and the degree to which historical sources, such as papers, letters, and artifacts are used also affect how well students are able to interact with historical information. Throughout history, monarchs and notable individuals have often attempted to fabricate a positive narrative about themselves. They did this with they used strategies to do this. For example, they allied themselves with religious leaders, academics, and artists to help fabricate a positive narrative about themselves to keep the public support. And and maintain a good reputation. They also connected themselves to supreme beings, claiming that they were chosen by the gods to make their rule sound unchallengeable and predestined. I would like to end my speech by concluding that history is told from a biased perspective, and I hope to have changed your own perspective on this topic. And I would like to leave you with the question: does the quote, "Whatever happens in the dark always come to light," apply to history too? Thank you.